Okay, now it's time to create your first character. Let's create this together really quickly and go over some rules while we're going. So first off, you're going to click the link, the campaign link to D&D Beyond. This is going to put your character into the campaign, and then you're going to hit create character. This first page is really important to get right because if you do all of these things correctly, then you should have everything up that you should. So under sources, we're not going to be using any homebrew, expanded rules, 2014, or legacy options. We're also not going to use any partnered content. That means that the only options you should have is the 2024 content. We do have a fabulous Patreon, as you will, that has shared their 2024 D&D Beyond content with us on the campaign link. So you should have full access to that even if you haven't purchased the book yourself. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and scroll down, and under advancement type, instead of milestones, you want to hit experience. Confirm this change. And then at the very bottom, we want this hit point type to stay fixed. And instead of campaign only for your character privacy, you need to put this to public. I'll explain why here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and jump to the next couple pages to make sure that these rules went through correctly. Under your classes, these should be your option. If you scroll down and you have more options, it means that you kept one of these things checked marked. So make sure you just go back and uncheck mark it for us. These are all of your options. And then your background should also be all of the core rule options again. Once again, if you have anything other than this, then just go back and make sure that you uncheck mark anything, as well as species. This is going to be a little bit more limited compared to if you have all those check marks. So you should only have the 2024 species options available to you. Um, and then once we get to this ability score part, this is where it can kind of get a little confusing. So you have three different options for how to determine your ability scores. There's standard array, manual ruled, and point by. For standard array and point by, there's nothing else you have to do. You just pick that and then go through and follow the instructions here on how to do it. Now, if you want to do manual or ruled, there's a couple of extra rules for you. First off, we are not going to use the D&D Beyond ruler for rolling our dice for our ability scores. A lot of DMs across the board, not only the ones that are hosting games here at Unity Gaming, but also a lot of DMs that I've talked to in other spaces have noticed that these dice rolls have been extremely inflated to the point where some folks are getting 4 to 6 18s in a row. We want your character to be as balanced as possible, which means someone coming in with those sort of stats is going to completely annihilate certain situations that we want it to be a little risky for you. So, if you do want to do manual rolled, you have two options. You can either take your own physical dice, the clickety clackities, and roll them yourself. But when you roll them, please make sure you record this. You can use the phone recording on your screen, or we can jump into a Discord call and we can, use your camera there in order to record those rules. Another option, if you don't have personal physical dice but would like the thrill of rolling these, then me and you can jump in a personal call and I will roll physical dice for you, and I will share. I will adjust my camera to where you guys can see what is being rolled. So that is the ability scores and how to do that. Now under equipment, once you pick a class, we're just going to do this really quickly, and a background, it's going to give a couple of different um, options for your equipment. You get to choose A and B, or A or B, excuse me, for both your class equipment and then also your background equipment. So, say for this particular barbarian, I really want this, but I don't need all this extra equipment. I want some more gold. You would click on each of those and then add starting equipment, and that will add everything that you need to in your bags. That is it as far as creating a character. Now, okay, now we're going to go over how to join the campaign and leave the campaign with your characters. after they've already been made. So after you create your character and you've sent the link to either a specific DM or onto the character creation um, post, then we'll want you to go ahead and move your character out of the campaign unless you have a game going on that night or in the near future. That way, our campaigns stay open for new players to come in. So, what you need to do is find the campaign link again on the Discord. It'll be posted with this video as well. But when you click on it, you'll see here. So, for example, Ithel, she's not in a campaign right now. If I click on Ithel and hit join with this character, then it will put Ithel inside of the campaign. At that point, my character will be in the campaign and I can make any adjustments to Ithel that I need to. Um, some adjustments that you'll need to make to your characters in the campaign: adding experience and gaining levels. Also, if you get new magical equipment. So let's go over both of those things. When it's time to add experience, um, we're going to use a different character actually to add experience because Ithel is not under the experience like she should be. So we'll do our test character here real fast. Okay, she's not ready. Character builder. We're going to hit manage experience, and here you'd be able to add in any additional experience that she had. Since this character isn't all set up, we're going to go back to Zoria. She is in the campaign, and we can hit the manage experience this way. So in order to add experience on your character sheet, you go to manage over here by Zoria's name, and then manage character and levels, or manage experience. When you manage experience, you can just type in how much more experience she gets. And then when you level up, you can go to manage again and manage character and levels, and you would be able to add any new features that she got. Now, let's say you've finished all of that and you are ready to put new inventory in. Let's say you got a magic weapon of any sort. You're going to go to your inventory here and click manage inventory. Let's say you got a +1 weapon, +1 flail. Okay, let's try that the other way. Flail. And then you would find the flail +1, and you would just add that to your character, and it'll pop right into your inventory. Now, let's say it's a magical weapon or magical item that has a specific name. So, for example, boots of false track. Oop. You see it already popped up there. You would just add that in and then be done with it. So if you get a magical weapon or magical item during one of the one shots, you would do that. Make sure that when you add this in, you're under the campaign, because then all of these books are available to you and you'll be able to add in most of the magical items. There's going to be a few that myself or one of the other DMs is going to have to add specifically. But for the most part, you should be able to add your magical item in on your own. Now, let's say you are done with your character, you've done everything you need to, and you are ready to pull your character out so that there's more room for people to get back in. So let's say Ithel is done. In order to leave campaign, you just go up to my collections, my characters. You should have a screen like this set up with your characters on it. And you're going to hit leave campaign. This will pull it out of the campaign and open up space for others. And then once again, when you're ready to join the campaign, you just need the campaign link. It'll have that different screen pulled up where you can join a character to the campaign. If you have any questions about joining campaigns, leaving campaigns, how to create a character, what rules to follow, don't hesitate to ask. A couple of rules that I want to go over again is we're only using the 2024 player handbook. We do not allow any evil aligned characters. And then we're going to be using the experience base for our leveling up. And then make sure to make your character public. The reason why you want to make your character public is because when your character is no longer in the campaign, I cannot see your character if they're set privately or to campaign only. And so that means I can't like reference your character's sheet really quickly to either help you or figure out what your character might be really good in order to add a component to a specific one shot that you're going to be in. Um, uh, so you want to make sure that you do make those adjustments. And then also, once your character is done, when you're on your character sheet, go ahead and just copy and paste the URL to that character specifically to either myself in a private DM or to our character creations um, tab post in the Unity Discord with D&D with Moon. That way, a DMA is able to make sure that you got through all the steps properly. So, let me know if you have any questions, and I can't wait to meet your character at the first D&D table.